Hello, this is Bearfield Ninja, also known as Shallow. We are going to be discussing about a bunch of brand new stuff going on with the new skill tree update. Most importantly, we're going to be talking about fire and a bunch of the useful stuff that you can do with fire as the character Willow. I'm going to be showcasing with this skill set right here. I apologize if you want to see like other kind of stuff, but we're just discussing about uses of fire and just things you can do with fire. Getting these farms set up, we're going to be discussing about like, oh my god, it sounds so boring. Alright, the first one that we've pretty much got for use of fire is pretty much is beehives. You see this beehive right here? You can just casually just like set this thing on fire. And usually, setting a beehive on fire like this will just basically just make it just go up to ash. However, if we give it some time, wait a little bit. Note that we did kind of like burn that beehive with fire duration on, so I don't think the beehive would pretty much live, or at least give you the loot, like the honeycombs and everything, if you just casually set it on fire like that. So that might be something I might have to test later on, but not for this video. Start planting a lot of seeds right now. This is pretty much just like a demonstration video, so we're just using like conflict commands and too many items and all that kind of stuff just to speed up the process on this, because I don't want to spend like, you know, several hours just getting all the materials and everything. So yeah, we're gonna get back to this farm plot thing a little later, just so I can demonstrate some other fire uses, because we're just talking about the basics. We're not going to be discussing anything like the fire farms or anything else, so I apologize if you want to see anything about that. Okay, there we go. Thanks for the light. Alright, another showcase of... Okay, speaking of like the showcase of just like setting beehives on fire just to get free bees, or just get like... Yeah, those. If I try to do the same thing to a killer beehive, do that right now, and then we're gonna pick a bunch of killer bees while we're at it. Just gonna set it on fire. As you can see, Willow can very easily pick early game fights with the lighter. And then I can just go and kill all these bees. And just beat up the beehive. And see, it's got like a free look out of that. Alright, sorry about that. I was waiting for the time to actually hit over to dusk. So one huge upside that Willow basically has is that if you're actually an enthusiast for bee farms and you want to actually like get bees going, but it's like happens to be dusk, you don't have to with Willow. You can just go ahead and just have a bug net, set their beehives on fire, and just catch the bees. They may get stung. Yeah, like that, so probably wear armor. So, yeah. But yeah, you can get some easy bees from this, and then as well as, like, yeah, you can just have the beehive burned down to the ground, or you can save it. Like that. And basically have more bees spawn, which is really nice. Over here at the picking biome, another really big use that you can pretty much get out of this is also involving pigmen. If, you know, pigmen pretty much are only out of their house during the day, they hide in their houses during the dusk or night, which is kind of a bit of a bummer. However, when you're playing as Willow, you can just set their houses on fire and feed them a meat if you want to be able to cook them. And then you can go ahead and just put their house out, which is, you know, really useful. And then in our case, we can just go ahead and just feed the pigmen, like 4 monster meats. And we can basically wait for them to turn, set them on fire. You can see I'm basically fighting a werepig with no armor. And as you can see, that was like one of the easiest kills I've ever had with no armor. Now, the downside of, you know, the big downside of this, though, is the fact that, well, we do just kind of have the meat drop as cooked meat, so if you were trying to get a ham bat, yeah, you're gonna have to kill the pigmen a normal way. I am in creative mode, though, so this is just kind of just for showcase. Alright, we're pretty much back. We come back to the garden. As you can see, a lot of weeds, a lot of forget-me-lots have basically spawned in our garden. Usually this would be the case where we would just get out our shovel. However, since we're playing as Willow with fire control, with the fire control skill, we can just set these on fire. Just set every forget-me-lot on fire. And the best part about doing this is if you kill a forget-me-lot using fire, they won't come back. They actually won't just like randomly show up in your garden like this, compared to digging. I am, however, going to wait a little bit longer just for these 2 forget-me-lots right here to basically fully grow. Looks like we actually have I think that's a fire nail that's actually in there too. That's actually very interesting. You can get rid of fire nails too using your lighter. Just remember, you have to have the fire control skill to be able to do this, otherwise your whole garden just sets on fire. Alright, the forget-me-lots have finally full bloom, so I was just going to showcase this. So, forget-me-lots actually like fully grow at least once, and then you try to burn them. I'm going to showcase right here. As we pretty much just like watch the forget-me-lots just burn. They'll drop an extra forget-me-lot, but it'll be smoldering. So, just because you put out a forget-me-lot does not mean you should probably ignore them. As you can see, like, yeah, they pretty much catch fire, and I'm seeing if they actually spread. They'll likely spread? Yep, they spread. So yeah, be careful with that. And as you can also as you saw, while it was just like in the middle of the night, our crops were actually growing during the middle of the night. The fireball skill actually does count as a natural light. So yeah, it's pretty darn useful for farming. Alright, I just went ahead and just like placed all the flowers down and just spawned them in. We're gonna be back for this little bee farm a little later. I just want to basically just put this stuff down, and then I can showcase it a little later, because we're gonna be discussing something a little more dangerous. Yeah, no, on second thought, it turned out to just be a mixed mushroom forest, so we just used too many items to just get to the biome that we're looking for. What isn't annoying, however, is the fact that if we don't have any minerals on us, and we say, like, try to light this thing on fire, And then we put it out, you can see it actually leave, and we actually already got one of these guys to spawn. I'm actually surprised we actually got this thing to actually spawn like first try. It's a Snurtle. These guys are actually really rare. 10% chance of actually spawning, and drop some pretty useful gear. There we go, it's dead. Yeah, but now we just got like a Snurtle shell armor from this. Less defense, more offense. It's actually, yeah, getting one of these is actually like pretty good, and Willow's actually pretty good at farming them. Yeah, we can just basically keep doing this, and doing this, and every time we do this, we either have one of those things pop up, oh, or one of those guys pop up. Perfect. Now, big heads up about Snurls. I'm going to just demonstrate this real quick. With this mount right here. There we go. Now, you don't want to actually set these guys on fire. If you set them on fire, they'll actually hide their shells. But more importantly, is that if you let them just kind of stay on fire like this, they explode. It does a lot of damage. Alright, back up to the surface. You see our crops have pretty much grown pretty darn nicely. It looks like we even got like a few peppers in there as well, which is actually pretty cool. There's pretty much like two things we can pretty much do when we're actually working with these things. Yeah, we're working with crops. We can either set them, we can either pick them as usual and basically yield the crops. This right here is actually a potato. Not very good when they're actually like uncooked. But if we try to set one on fire, we have fire control, so we don't have to worry about this thing spreading. It'll actually drop as a cooked potato, which actually does heal you. It actually heals you for like 20, and I think it gives a decent amount of hunger as well, so we're just gonna eat that. The other thing I can actually like probably do, I don't know if this actually works, but so this is actually like my first time actually trying this part out. We want to actually like speed cook this thing. We can actually just set it on fire and then just dig it up. And it comes out cooked immediately. You do use up a shovel, but if you're just using a shovel to just dig out, just to take out weeds, this would be like a really good use for the shovel then, since you don't really need a shovel for gardening at this point once you get out all the rubble. However, as you can see there, doing it that way will basically yield the seeds as toasted as well, and you're not able to pretty much put them in the garden. So you pretty much need to like make a choice if you're going to do something like that. Yeah, if you're just kind of just having like a disposable garden, or just if you just like want to be able to just like keep the garden going. So it does have a downside. Alright, our bee farm pretty much is now pretty much like ready to go. Normally you would just like go ahead and just like, walk up to these things, and then you get the honey, and then you'd have bees attacking you, and then you have to start like running to the other side, setting it, or stealing the honey there, and then you just have like a bunch of bees on you. What you can do instead is just set the beehive on fire, put it out, and just take it, and we get no resistance from it. So this is actually a really great way to be able to just get free honey, risk-free, and also just going into like the part of what we did just to get the bees as well. It also makes it so that all the bees pretty much get out super early. So as you can see, we're not even 30 seconds in, and we're already getting more honey into these honeycombs. Another one like popped up right there. So it actually makes the honey farm even more efficient because of it. Now, another thing I also want to mention is with the fireball skill, is that if you happen to, say, accidentally put a fireball a little too close to base, maybe like you accidentally just like slammed it onto like your side machine or alchemy engine, and yeah, if you accidentally like do something like this, it'll wind up like smoldering. I'm just like waiting for it to happen right now. We're gonna give it like just a moment. Huh, weird. Okay, so for some strange reason the science machine is just fine with it, but apparently not crockpots. So yeah, your crockpot's on fire. Oh no, you're overcooking your food. But you go and like put it out, and now you're just like, you may think like, oh my god, now we're just like in this situation where this crockpot basically is now just in danger for like 8 minutes. Well, as you can see, after we put it out, it just becomes fireproof. People can still light it on fire purposefully, but the same fireball is not going to catch your crockpot on fire. So don't actually worry too much if you just put a crockpot too close to the kitchen. You can still put it in the kitchen, you just have to put it out once it catches on fire.